Nocturns Gaming from Latin America, defeating out Scylla Esports. Is that why you're up here, Ro? If they're going to take your team out, you might as well represent them a little bit?
I guess so, yeah. I'll just say these guys are my favorites from now on. We'll go with that. And
there we go.
I guess my favorites just keep losing, unfortunately.
All right, I didn't mean that, but okay.
It happens every now and then.
I still believe this is a set that we could see an upset in. They've got some very important lessons to learn from the last game, but they're going with the Odin ban once again.
Another similar Odin ban right there.
I can't fault it, although I would like to see if they're going to opt for an Odin ban this early on, maybe steer it more towards a sustained composition, because Odin was banned in the last game as well, but there wasn't really a whole lot in terms of sustain that would really supplement or warrant the necessity to ban out the Odin.
Yeah, I mean, so far the biggest difference here, we're seeing that Nocturns take the first pick, so maybe they do want to get some early sustain on board in their draft. We'll see if Rival ban out the Sylvanas again here.
And probably just a large concern for Rival whipping out the Zeus combination. Rival is, again, a team that's known for loving their AoE and utility-based composition. So Hu Yi, Zeus, front runner-ups probably for Rival if Odin is able to get through.
Sleeping on the opponents there, it seems.
An AMC ban coming out from Nocturns. Looks like they don't want to have it, and they don't want them to have it.
Seems so. Very strong ADC right now. One of the top, if not the top. But Ula banned as well.
And again, for Rival, I could maybe see the Sylvanas. Yeah, right as they're about to say it. It's just too great of a support character for Nocturns, and it seemed like their support was the most comfortable playing as well. And landing all of those pulls in the roots is just going to be plenty annoying. Rival just want to continue the pressure as early as possible.
It looks like so far Beltway with today and yesterday has been really prioritizing this Osiris, but I think I want them, like you said, Kelly, to prioritize the Raijin now.
They have to. That Raijin is so strong, and he just is so good from the early to mid to late game. He provides so much damage, so much security. You can't let Rival have that game.
I would love to actually see Nocturns with that god, because of the fact that Naz is probably one of the best players on this team, if not the best player on this team.
Definitely. Nazq picking up that Raijin right now, just like we were saying, guys. It seems like he definitely does not want Wolfie to have him.
No, and that's a good choice too, but we'll see what Wolfie goes into. Either way, I think as long as the Raijins in the game don't have a squishy mage on the other end.
We saw a little bit of Poseidon Athena combinations from Rival, but with Fafnir being open, I would imagine that to be a top-tier priority for Rival. It's a god that they've always favored throughout the season, and Rival actually opting to take the Osiris for themselves.
Yeah, no, Nocturnes picked him up last game, and they're going to be like, all right, if you don't want him, we'll take him.
Yeah, Osiris a pretty standard pick for Deathwalker as well, or any solo laner really, and obviously taking away from Beltway, who's played it the last 2 days, and Rival picking up the Fafnir again. Same as last game, sticking to very standard picks so far.
Yeah, Callus there with the End Dragon, of course, showing off a little bit, probably wants to do the same thing again. And Erlang Shin coming out for Nocturns.
So it looks like they're taking a page out of Rival's book, just trying to mirror the draft and learn from their opponents.
So far, it almost looks like the same match as last game.
Except Fafnir.
It's just the standard shift around, of course. That's what tends to happen, though. That's just teams learning to adapt to these situations, which is always pretty refreshing to see. Hopefully, Nocturnes could lean towards picking up their ADC here, maybe a Hachiman, since Uller and AMC have already been banned away. That would leave open the Ram or Hu Yi that Vote loves playing, but it at least puts Rival in the position of deciding to pick their ADC next, or worry about Nocturne banning it out in the third and fourth bans.
All right, we got a Robin coming out from Nocturnes. It does seem like they are just copying Rival's picks from last game.
If you can't beat them, join them, right?
That's got to be the strat from time to time. I'm curious to see how they choose to mix this up. But for Rival, that is a very
look at that
line.
Osiris, Fafnir, and Artio together. What can you do against that?
the Cripple is going to be insane. The control that Rival introduces with that RDO selection is going to be very tough to handle, especially since Nocturns were opting for gods like the Raijin and Erlang, a little bit reliant on their escapes and whatnot for initiation. But more importantly, the RDO pick, she's a magical god. This could possibly be a double hunter composition from Rival.
Especially with the Fafnir 2 buff, it's very effective at that point, even just on Osiris for the attack speed buff. So I would definitely agree with seeing a double hunter, and that is one thing that can pressure out a Raijin.
We got a Ganesh ban coming out on Rival's side there. Kind of interesting. I don't really know if Noi2Lover is much of a Ganesh player, but I guess there's not too much remaining there, and they're not worried about the Sobek because it didn't do too much.
Yeah, they've been at the Isis. I think they mustn't be thinking about the double hunter that they're scared of. I think they definitely should be scared of it, but looks like they're more scared of Isis, and Rival want to take away their Ares.
I guess so. I mean,
Guardians here.
I mean, support Rival does enjoy Ares. I don't know if Nocturns ever would have gone him.
I love the 3 Guardians that they have chosen to ban from Rival, because all 3 of those Guardians introduce a ton of aggression themselves and can deal quite a lot of damage, actually. You'd be surprised at how far ahead an Ares can get should he pick up a first blood or even a secondary kill. And the Poseidon ban as well makes sense, because Rival Wolfie doesn't, he's probably the least likely mid to stray into or to dabble into the ADC side of life for mid lane, but it's still very possible.
Yeah, he certainly can, and I think it would be great with this comp. So Nocturns are forcing them towards the Hunters, which I don't think is very going to turn out very well for them.
This is just so weird. Like, I feel like they're almost banning for the opposite teams. Like, Isis is known for Nocturns, Ares is known for Rival. It's interesting picks there. We got Hachiman coming out for Rival.
Yeah, and I'm just going to solidify the point even more. Add more attack speed buffs for more Hunters. I think another Hunter on the side of Rival would be great, but it's great to take away the Hachiman away from Nocturns as well.
And there's legit multiple Hunters that would fit Rival strat perfectly. We already saw the Medusa one time. There's still Huyi and Chiron even left on the table. Neith as well, even though we haven't seen a whole lot of her throughout the season. She could be prioritized pretty heavily.
Usually her issues stem from not having an attack speed steroid, but she's got plenty on that team with Rival.
All right, looks like they're going with Terra for their support.
And Terra's one of those gods where she fell a little bit out of favor throughout Season 4 after she was nerfed, primarily because of the fact that there's just Guardians who can usually control what they do a little bit better than her now, but this is a strong time to pick her up. I think she should synergize pretty well with that Robin and Raijin.
All right, we got a Thulk pick. We actually got to see him played on Nocturns yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think it's the strongest pick possible here, but at the same time, Wolfie's just probably more comfortable on it, and I think it still perfectly fits in with their draft.
Why not pick Giannis here on Wolfie?
They've got enough utility, I think.
All right, guys, Nocturns versus Rival. It's already up 1 in favor of Rival. Who are you giving it to?
I would probably have to favor Rival's draft here.
Certainly, yeah, me too.
All right, looks like the casters or the analysts are saying that it's going to be 2-0. Casters, what do you guys think?
Well, I think totally after last game, there's only one option here, and that is Team Rival. I mean, how can you go against them? Carlos is on his Fafnir again.
Yes, this is the god that he's known for. Fafnir was not banned away. They instead took away the Musikop and the Odin instead. Nocturns have to worry about a lot of this objective control yet again. The way Callus likes to play Fafnir, we saw that girdle being picked up at level 12, just synergizing even more. He gives you the attack speed, now he's giving you damage and penetration. Like, where does it end?
And Nocturne's draft is a little bit odd to me. Like, why pick this Terra?
The Terra here, I think, is for just a little bit more global pressure, right? Like, the mobility is very important because Osiris here, that's probably going to be played on... Actually, it's going to be Ice Ice Baby here because it's going to be...
Oh, my goodness.
No, it's RDO jungle. I thought it was going to be RDO solo.
No, it's Thoth ADC.
Hello, Votes, playing the magical god. Rival pulling a fast one on all of us, even the analysts.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? With his Glyph of Pain and you're doing extra auto attack damage through that, his Hieroglyphic Assault, he's very left-click based.
This is a little bit of practice, I think, for Rival here, honestly. They showed us that they are who we thought they were, ending the game in less than 20 minutes. They made really quick work out of Nocturne Gaming. So here, they're not necessarily taking it too easy necessarily on Nocturnes, but they're putting themselves in a position where Wolfie is practicing a physical hunter now for his future matches.
Deathwalker taking a lot of damage there. Sprint was popped by Nocturne's Ice Ice with that jungle RDO you were talking about there a little bit at the start. comes in to save his solo lane.
Very important sprint being used there, trying to chase down Deathwalker, but it was Deathwalker that also had a sprint of his own to get away from the danger. Beltway is going to just turtle on through while the rest of the minions just group up, and it's SMITE taking a lot of damage.
Taking so much damage. Ice Baby in the bear form, looking to maul down that jungler and get first blood, but it is not to be.
Nocturns, though, have the 4-man advantage around these elementals, which is why on the left side, we're seeing an early red buff being made instead, as the 2 Guardians are just kind of soloing in that long lane.
The double kind of damage dealers here going to go ahead and take that red buff and continue pressuring down the mid lane. This means Carlos has been left alone in the long lane with Noitulover, Guardian on Guardian fight there. That's going to be something I think that might not see a whole lot of fight potential early in this game.
It's good to give Guardian some solo experience to get that level 5 marker, because you're looking at Noitu that's playing the Terra, that global presence. You pop the Terra's Blessing, you're getting extra mobility, you're reducing cooldowns, and you're also clear casting. You're not having to spend any mana on those abilities, and that's something that I think Nocturns might be leaning on this game.
At the same time as well, you get Fafnir a bit of a lead once he's able to turn to that dragon, and he gets that auto attack, that buff, basically the coerce, that he can put onto Vote and Wolfie, considering, you know, Vote is playing, again, Thoth ADC.
Very true.
It's going to be very important for Team Rival to keep Carlos ahead. And we saw what he was able to do last game on Fafnir with a lead, and we've seen it all split long.
And depending on the way Rival likes to just move around the map, if they keep getting this mid pressure, they can easily just collapse on the gold here. We've seen time in and time out. Hold that thought, though, in the blue buff, there's a lot of action.
SMITE nearly gets the first blood down to Ice Baby. It's going to be Deathwalker who falls down with an early rotation out of the mid lane from NozQ and Zion 6. First blood to Latin America.
This is how Nocturnes need to play, just as a cohesive unit, looking for these picks, abusing Deathwalker before he hits level 5, before his sprint was even available to him again.
Very nice work there out of Nocturnes. Getting to pick before level 5 as well, so those long-range ultimates out of Wolfie and Vote aren't available, but they're getting chased back towards their own jungle there.
They wanted some redemption, recognizing that there was 2 level 4s there for Rival against 2 level 3s, numbers in their favor, but they bullied them enough to get the mid wave and now continue these rotations. And it seems that Vote wants to extend it, maybe steal away the purple buff or just go for these oracles.
He's going to look towards the purple buff, it seems like. Probably a bit of a safer option. Actually, no, he's wrapping around. Is this a gank?
It might be, but look at who's behind him making the rotation happen. It's going to be Zion.
Noitulover taking some damage here. There's the Hieroglyphic Assault. The wall actually to get out of the way. Here's the final judgment. Vote shows he is more than capable of hitting that ultimate and takes down Noitulover.
Accuracy just so solid there. Ice Baby going to take a little bit of more damage than he would have liked to. It's SMITE that's just getting the slight edge here. Sitting at level 5, has the speed buff. This is what it's all about here in the competitive SMITE scene. It's about trying to find these little advantages in the solo side jungle.
And it's, I think, the area that the North American and European teams excel over the international teams. SMITE with the ultimate there, he's looking for Ice Baby, but just off the mark, it can't find him. As I was saying, Tolly, I think that right-hand side of the map, and particularly the jungle, is the biggest difference between these North American European teams and the international squads. You know, you get so much practice against so many fantastic junglers, and you have to be so disciplined and can't make any mistakes as a jungler. You learn to make it basically second nature. I think the mechanics aren't that much of a gap between these teams anymore. It's all about the strategies and the rotation.
I definitely agree with you there. You put that all on top of the fact that they're up against Team Rival. So not making those mistakes, even more difficult to do, because Rival is going to be hyper aggressive. The way they played the first game was, you know, brilliant open. They managed to find that early invade. This time around, it's Rival slightly on the back foot. They're down about 600-700 gold. Not the end of the world, considering it's only 4.5 minutes in. But Rival are not really used to being behind, especially against an international team such as Nocturnes.
Exactly right, and that's how these international teams have to win. Playing from behind, you're never going to be able to do it. It's too difficult against these squads that know how to punish every single mistake. But if you can get on top early, that gives you that little bit of wiggle room to make a slip up here or there. And, you know, even still in team fights, it makes it so much easier. Terra's Blessing popped. Ice Baby taking some judgment from the Tycho. Drops the shell. Is good to keep him alive for now. But I don't think it's going to keep him alive forever. NozQ picks up the kill.
This is how you abuse Rival right here. It's both Deathwalker and Ice Baby that's just slightly behind their counterparts. And just the rotation from Nocturnes Nocturns Gaming, you pair that up with a Terra's Blessing that was used, you're going to find a kill on Terra every single time before these tanky items come available. Even going for the Shoes of Focus here for Ice Ice Baby, getting that 10% cooldown reduction.
Nocturns invading the speed buff, actually able to pick it up. Carlos gets the stun onto No2 Lover, and it looks like Rival want to pick up one of Nocturns as they get the speed buff. No2 Lover is the one to dash away. The walls there to try and get some separation between their team and Rival, and I think that's actually been working out really well for Nocturne so far, is the space that this Terra generates.
That's true. There's a lot of control on the side of Nocturne. So looking at also the root from SMITE, a nice little taunt potentially from Beltway. Their teamfight presence is definitely to be respected here. So Rival just can't expect any sort of ease or comfort in the second game, the way that they thought it would be in picks and bans.
Yeah, well, and even after picks and bans, and when they're actually assigning the gods to each other with Vote on this Thoth, I mean, he's got a kill so far. He's getting the stacks on the Warlock Slash, and that's something that Nocturnes have to pay attention to.
That's very true.
Thoth.
That's very true. The Thoth is going to be able to do a lot of damage, especially once that Warlock Slash has been completed here, not to mention just how resilient he's going to be. But on the flip side, it's also NozQ playing the Raijin that's going for a similar style. Instead, he didn't really finish his Warlock Slash. He wanted to go for a tier 2 boost before finishing that item.
I like that because it gives him extra mobility. We saw yesterday from some of the other international teams that went to try and get stacking items early at the sacrifice of not getting boots, that the lack of mobility really hurt them getting chased down by junglers and solo laners. So I like the thinking here from NozQ. He's just finished the Warlock Slash now, but he's got that little bit of extra movement speed he wouldn't otherwise have.
Deathwalker getting bullied a little bit in that solo lane there. He needs to just kind of let the minion waves enter the tower. But hold that thought though, because Callus is going into Dragon form. He gets knocked up, CC'd almost forever, it seems.
SMITE takes down Carlos there. Now it's 3-1 in favor of Nocturnes, and it's a 1,300 gold lead, 2,400 experience. This is looking good for Nocturnes so far, but we have seen this before, Tolly. We've seen international teams get out to a little bit of a lead, make one mistake, and then the North American and European squad makes them pay.
It's all about how they start building their advantages. Nocturne Gaming's finding these 3 kills is all nice, but how are they going to extend this lead? They're playing very well grouped up, and now it's a 2-on-2. And it's No2 Lover that's in trouble.
He's going to be able to get away. Terra's Blessing, again, some movement speed, some healing there for himself as well. The space that he can make, the gaps he creates with those walls and with that pillar. This could be one of the picks that there's always that pick every year that no one expects to be super important in these best of 3, best of 5 sets. And Terra could be that for Nocturne's team Rival.
And considering the way some of the metas open up, right? You leaving the Guardians alone in that long lane, that favors Terra a lot because you can't really stick her in the mid lane, right? Terra's level 1 is just hot garbage. You're not really going to find the clear at all for her. She's more of like you're ganking at level 1 potentially with the stuns, but instead you leave her alone to soak up that experience, and look what's happening now. Nocturnes are starting to group up once she makes these rotations. They get the mobility that they need between the sprint on Beltway and the Terra's Blessing.
Last game was SMITE at a bit of a level disadvantage. This time it's Ice Ice Baby, and he's paying for it. Deathwalker's going in there with the Lord of the Afterlife. Somehow Ice Ice Baby is still alive. Deathwalker doing everything he can to pick up NozQ here, and it's Vote that picks up SMITE on the backside.
They're trying to get another pick though. They're not done as Rival still extending the pressure a little bit further. Nice route onto Ice Ice Baby. He's forced to backpedal away a little bit. Rotation happening from Zion 6 on the backhand side. Could see some stuns raining down soon.
Zion 6 going to be trying to contest these fire elementals. Doesn't get the bounce off, so unfortunate for himself there. NozQ gets stunned out of his dash. Vote with the final judgment. So close. There's the stuns you were talking about. And now No2 Lover and Zion 6 are looking for Vote, but it's a bait because here come the rest of Team Rival.
Banging through the drums, through the wall there. Rival is forced to retreat there a little bit. They really wanted that kill onto NozQ. It's a nice little attempt there from Vote there. He definitely had the angle and the distance with that wall, extending the distance of final judgment.
It was that fight where Nocturnes, they lost one of their members. I think it was a little bit of they thought their lead was much bigger than what it was. And that is another one of the differences between the international squads and North America and Europe, is that North America and Europe really know how to play their lead. They know exactly how far they can push their advantage.
Especially when you leave Vote alone in the backline to do all the damage that he really wants. He found a very early and easy pick onto SMITE, and that's something that Nocturnes need to keep in the back of their mind moving forward, because now their deficit is less than 1,000 here.
It looks like Vote is going for the same build Wolfie went last game with the double stacking. Look, the tier 1 there of the Book of Thoth. This is something that we haven't really seen for a long time. In fact, a lot of people say that double stacking is detrimental to your build because you lack penetration.
Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time here for Vote to get, you know, whether it's going to be Spirit of the Magus, whether it's going to be Obsidian Shard,
He does have his
Spirit
passive.
Desolation here, but, you know, it's still not a bad idea because just the pure power alone, because keep this in mind, Vote's Final Judgment with the wall, it has so much range that you're almost guaranteed to hit these squishies that don't have the magical defenses anyway. So do you really need penetration this early if that's your goal?
That's true, but on the flip side of that, Nocturns have a double warrior composition on the right-hand side and a Terror who can be pretty tanky. So, you know, maybe not now that they don't have a whole lot of magical defense online, but as this game progresses later and later, Vote is going to start to need some of that penetration.
Absolutely agree with you in terms of, you know, shredding some of these objectives on top of it. Gold Fury and Fire Giant is not going to be the easiest to take out without penetration. Even some of the in-hands on the towers wouldn't be a bad idea to get some flat penetration, but instead, Rival still looking for little opportunities here. Portally moves taken by Nocturns Gaming, but not the Gold Fury quite yet.
They still have a gold lead, however, about 1,400, maintaining that even after that last fight that didn't quite go their way. Experience a little bit closer now after that fight as well. Gold Fury being looked at by No 2 Lover and Ice Baby. The ward control, the vision battle around this objective is always so important.
This is how teams get ahead, honestly. You deny enemy vision, you wait for somebody to cross behind enemy lines, and you look to pick them off. And it's right now sitting at level 11, this RDO here being played by Ice Baby, only sitting on a sovereignty in terms of tankiness, so it wouldn't be a bad idea if Nocturns just tries to focus them out before he gets too tanky.
What's good for Nocturns as well is that Zion 6 has been able to establish a little bit of a lead on this left-hand side. Spitero's looking for Wolfie here, but he's able to dash himself away. But as I was saying, Zion 6 maintaining even with Vote and even getting a little bit of a lead is so important for Nocturns Gaming because he's a big part of their game plan.
Very true. This Hu Yi, once that Mark of the Golden Crow gets maxed out, once the Devil Gloves gets completed stacking, the Executioner is where the team fight, I think, is going to really occur from Nocturns.
Deathwalker taking a lot of damage under his tower there from Beltway. Beltway showing that last game really was kind of an exception to the rule and that he is a solo laner that can hold his own against the world's best.
Yes, it just seems that Nocturns is comfortable in the second game here, you know, which is no easy task when you lose so heavily here. But look at this action in the Soul Lane.
Great taunt there from Spitero, but there's 4 members of Team Rival here. Carlos jumps in. Deathwalker forced to ult away as well. Carlos still in the dwarf form, not yet a dragon. He's going to be turning very soon, I think. There it is. He's turning into a dragon. Ice and Wolfie looking to come in, but it's Spitero that goes in, and Carlos is blown up by Notcu. He's still alive, and he jumps away.
He barely gets away here. Now Rival are going to try to chase this one down instead. Nasq sitting at half health here. It's still a 1v1 in that long lane. Vote against Zion 6.
Spitero coming in, and there's the kill onto Carlos. And now Nocturns Gaming looking to try and find Ice Baby, but take the kill and get away. Take what you can get and be thankful for it.
Cal is overextending a little bit too much there. He should have been counting his lucky stars there, honestly, and backed into base, trying to get back into the action later on, but instead, he gets punished completely. No rotations from either of those two quote-unquote hunters, and I think that could have definitely changed the tide there. If either one of them out-rotated the other first, I think Vote could have turned the tide for that team fight.
I mean, the final judgment is so huge, especially onto these targets right now that don't have a whole lot of protection from, you know, Noi 2 Lover, Spitero, Beltway. Not a whole lot of magical protection. We just see Beltway picking some up now, but a big final judgment. Even the hieroglyphic assault, evade and punish there would be so huge.
And it was what you were talking about earlier. It's about these double stacking items coming from Vote, which is why he didn't want to rotate. He just now finished stacking his Warlock Sash. He's still working on that Book of Thoth, and that's something that might be hindering Vote and the rest of Rival for at least this early portion of the mid game.
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a misclick.
Well, luckily for them, for Nocturns, despite us the casters, despite the fans seeing it, Rival the most important people, did not see it.
So they're not going to know that it's down. They're not going to be able to, you know, punish that. They might find out in the next team fight, but they don't know it. And, you know, totally, as a former professional player yourself, how important is it to know your enemy's relics?
Oh, absolutely. What happens is once you force a bead, once you force an Aegis, you literally call the timer of when those beads or Aegises were used, and then you just add 160 seconds on top of it, and you're waiting for the next opportunity to go on that specific target.
And that's such an underrated aspect of being a pro player, is being able to keep all that information inside your head at all times, and as well as, you know, things like buff timers and your own item builds and everything like that. So, you know, the fact that Zion 6, he wasn't spotted out there by a rival is so, so huge.
And that's also going to give another 100 seconds from a rival just to basically chill out, because Nocturns don't want to go into a team fight knowing that the beats are down from Zion 6. But instead, with how much rival are kind of like shoved away into their own solo buff, this could be a little bit of pressure on the tier 1 mid.
Well, it looks like actually the Oracle Harpies are going to be the target. No, the Gold Fury is the target here from Nocturns. Bold playing here. Vote knows exactly what's going on. He does have the final judgment, but they're looking for Carlos now, who takes a whole lot of damage. Wolfie's coming in. They're looking for Vote now, who's forced to burn his beads. And in the mid lane, a whole lot of damage being done there to Noi2Lover.
Yeah, SMITE also taking a little bit of damage himself there, so that's going to be Rival's advantage to keep on going in here. Wolfie is paired up with Vote, but they're just going for the Oracles. They're not interested in the Gold Fury fight yet.
They're interested in the vision around the Gold Fury still, though. They're still interested in winning that battle and making sure that Nocturnes can't go for what they attempted there, which was a sneaky Gold Fury.
And I like the idea that Nocturnes had there. They're feeling confident, honestly. Like we were talking about, you know, the difference between Game 1 and Game 2. The mentality from going from such a loss is no easy task, especially against a team such as Team Rivals. So a lot of credit goes to Nocturnes playing the way they are here in Game 2.
Absolutely. It's devastating to get stomped like they did, because, I mean, that's what happened in Game 1. There's no two ways about it. And to come back and be able to show the mental fortitude to be able to take it to Team Rival, establish yourself a bit of a lead and keep it going, not throw it away in one play, at least they haven't so far, it's quite pleasing to see as a SMITE fan, to see these international teams improve year in and year out.
I think some of the action's about to happen soon, especially once these Guardians get the level 12 so they can get that second Relic Shell on both Noi2 and Callus. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we see a Girdle from the Dwarf again.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Maybe he might get a sprint, though, if they find themselves still behind when he hits level 12. There's a lot of slows coming out of Nocturnes Gaming, but at the same time, Rival, they were so confident last game, and they're obviously very confident coming into this one to pick the Thoth ADC. Gold Fury picked up, it's started up now by Nocturnes.
It's burning down pretty quickly here, already sitting at half health. Vote's going to be able to try to channel that Final Judgment, but does cancel it out. Still waiting for the right opportunity.
Carlos taking a lot of damage. Final Judgment comes through. Up goes Zion 6. Carlos is a dragon now, but not for long as NozQ puts him in the ground. SMITE trying to run away now from this Ardio, but around the back, Vote NBK gets himself a nice stun. SMITE taking a lot of damage. There's an Aegis to try and save his life. He can't jump away because of that cripple, and Wolfie makes him pay.
Just no ultimate available to go over the wall. That Final Judgment from Vote, you don't have to use abilities to secure kills. You can open up team fights with it instead. Hitting 2 prime targets there. Zion 6 was forced to go so far back into the action that he was a non-factor in the rest of that team fight.
And now it's Rival's turn to start up the Gold Fury, and no one from Nocturnes is around. This could be Rival's path back into on top of this game, and it looks like they will get the Gold Fury, and they find themselves finally back to even in gold.
That's what classifies a team as being truly elite. The ability to bounce back after small deficits here. Rival, they were down about 1,500 gold or so. Now they're slowly climbing back into it. More importantly is the experience gap. They're still trying to stay relevant in some of the levels. Ice Baby and Deathwalker were struggling before that team fight.
3 of the kills that Nocturnes Gaming have got have been onto Carlos, and he's still even in experience with Noi2Lover, and that is so important for a team. You know, of any player in your team, you're probably most happy to sacrifice your support as long as you win the fight, or you win the fight after the fight. And the fact they got the Gold Fury there and traded out SMITE as well is everything just went Team Rival's way in that fight, despite Nocturnes getting the early pick.
And I don't think they're done here either. With Vote being in the mid lane, this usually telegraphs with the idea of what a team wants to accomplish. Whether he's playing the Thoth or a traditional Hunter, this means that leaving the dual lane, the long lane alone, you're looking to lean a little bit towards the mid, the solo, and more importantly, that Portal Demon.
Divine Ruin picked up now for NozQ here in the mid lane. Get a little bit of anti-heal. I guess they're really feeling the pressure that and the healing that this Ardio is providing.
Well, also between Callus whenever he uses the Coerce. The idea there is every single time they get Callus so low that he has to prematurely use that Draconic form whenever he's in trouble, and already NozQ goes and bangs those drums trying to secure the kill, so a little bit of extra anti-healing will mitigate that Coerce.
And we're seeing as well that there's a Divine Ruin on Vote. He's a full item now ahead of NozQ. He is a Book of Thoth ahead of the enemy mid lane. And, you know, this is another great strategy from Team Rival. You put that Thoth in the left-hand side dual lane where he's not going to feel as much pressure from a jungler. He's going to get a lot more solo farm. And now we're seeing the results as the Vote channeling the final judgment, looking for someone here on Nocturns. The sprint is popped, and Ice is in trouble. NozQ picks up the kill.
Vote was just waiting a little bit too long. It's Nocturne striking the first blood. Their final judgment not really making the impact there, but Rival, they're not done yet. They're going to disengage now, though. Finally, a nice stun through the wall, though. On
Nocturns looking for something here, but the fact that NozQ took so much damage there might stop them in their tracks. Great work by Vote on this Thoth.
Vote hesitated a little bit too long there, leaving Ice Baby just high and dry, and that cannot happen in the next team fight. Make a commitment. You don't necessarily have to use the final judgment there, but you could still get some pot shots off from your first ability.
Such a close game. Absolutely would not have expected this, especially after game 1 where Rival came out and wiped the floor with Nocturnes Gaming. We're seeing a good game of Smite here right now, Tolly.
Absolutely, a little back and forth action here with this Latin American team against the European Rival. And honestly, my hat goes off to Nocturnes here. They already surpassed the duration of that last game.
Yep.
This is something to be proud of, honestly. Even for teams such as Nocturnes here, they're still being really consistent in their action. Looking at some of the item choices here, SMITE having a little bit of anti-healing for himself as well with that Brawler's Beat Stick. They really want to try to lock down Callus, I think.
Callus and Ice as well. We saw basically for the first time Ice go out at the start of the fight there, and that meant, you know, Ardio has 6 abilities, essentially, and that meant all 6 of those abilities were taken out of the fight. You know, you've got the Root on her 3, you've got the Cripple we can see right now, you've got the Bear, which is just so scary and intimidating to go up against.
Speaking of more anti-healing, looking at Beltway with that Pestilence, it's just all across the board anti-healing from Nocturnes. It doesn't really matter who's going to be next to Callus or Ice Baby. Those 2 tanky targets, not going to be as tanky any longer.
No2 Lover here in the mid lane, stuns out Ice Baby. Game has settled down a little bit since that last fight, but as I say, that's SMITE coming around. They're looking for Ice Baby. Sprint is popped. Ice going to be able to get away here. NozQ still wants him though. There's the Tycho drums, taunts him back in, but not enough damage to finish the job.
Too early there to pressure Ice Baby out of the action. If you're not going to find the kill, you want to try to bully somebody out potentially so that you can get an objective potentially out of it, get something, maybe even a tier 1 mid tower, but instead Nocturnes Gaming, they burn such an important Raijin ultimate ability and they don't get anything from it.
Portal Demon seems to be the next target here for Nocturnes, hanging around, and they're going to take the right-hand side mid camps, but again, controlling this right-hand side, they completely lost it last game. It was domination by Deathwalker and Ice, and this game, it's been all the way of Nocturnes. You know, Deathwalker 0-1, Ice 0-2. Conversely, Beltway 1-0.
Rival don't care. Rival don't care that they're behind in terms of like the death counter. They're just waiting for that prime opportunity, that one team fight to just blow the doors wide open. Because keep in mind, as the game progresses longer and longer, the respawn timers will also increase in duration, and that's the factor that Rival's going to abuse in some of these team fights, starting to look for more objectives.
Gold Fury started up by Nocturnes. Last time they attempted this, they lost the fight and they lost the Gold Fury. They're trying to find Callus now, but they're not going to get him. Looks like Zion6 was having a bit of a one-on-one there with Wolfie and came out on the bad side of it. In the mid lane.
And now moving forward, also, they can have some sustain of themselves off of No2 Lover. We didn't really talk about much of the sustain between the Monolith, between using that Terra's Blessing. So the sieging opportunity from Nocturnes can easily start swinging in their favor once they can find a pick. They're just a little too hesitant to go for it, I feel.
Portal Demon started up again. Deathwalker looking to try and find someone out of position here. Instead, it's Deathwalker who's going to take a lot of damage and is knocked up. NozQ around the backside as well as Vote, trying to get some of their long-range damage back online. NozQ does have his ultimate back as well. No2 Lover takes a lot of damage there from that stun.
And trying to escape into safety there. Zion6 actually doesn't have his beats for this team fight, so keep an eye on him. If he gets stunned out, that could spell a lot of trouble.
Final judgment being channeled here, but not going to be unleashed. Wolfie dashes forward aggressively onto NozQ. Here comes the final judgment, but NozQ through the wall. He's looking for Wolfie. Ice though, charging straight at that Raijin. Zion6 picks up Wolfie. Ice Baby under the tower, trying to find this Raijin, trying to get away. Is NozQ, just dives under his own tower. Ice looking to get back into this fight, but it looks like it's Nocturnes that are winning this one. The Ricochet's good from Zion 6, who gets another kill. Ice is in trouble. Zion, though, going to jump away because he and SMITE are too low.
Yeah, both of them are just a little bit too low to continue the action. That could allow Rival, though, to pick up a kill of their own. Beltway is left alone. Vote getting credit with that kill. And yet again, despite Rival losing a team fight, they have the ability to go for this objective if they wanted to, but recognizing that NOSQ was bullied earlier from Ice Baby, he's now in position to prevent that objective.
We saw, you were talking just a little bit there before, Tolly, about sustain coming out of the Monolith, and we really saw that work to Nocturn's advantage at the beginning of that engagement. They were healing up, getting ready to go in, and then when they committed, I mean, they won that fight. They got 2 kills for 1, and now they're looking for the Portal Demon. Vote kind of on his own. There's Deathwalker there as well, but I don't know if they'll be able to stop this Portal Demon without a big commitment.
They need to find something here, and Rival actually do. They steal it away yet again. There's just so unfortunate here for Nocturns Gaming. You know, they didn't get the Gold Fury that they wanted to. They didn't get this Portal Demon, and Rival are just, you know, keeping it relatively close and even waiting for that power spike.
The experience, though, still in the favor of Nocturns Gaming. But as this game goes on longer and longer, that's going to be factoring less and less into this game. Gold Fury started up now by Team Rival. Vote is here as well to help his teammates out, but Zion 6 and Noitulove are showing their faces, stop Rival from going for that objective.
Needs to be careful about their positioning here against Vote. That stun is going to set up a lot of damage here with a little bit of penetration now. Once that Obsidian Shard gets completed, that's the true damage from Rival here, this level 19 Thoth.
It's a scary thing. He's got Divine Ruin online already for some anti-heal. He's going into an Obsidian Shard. So now he's got the penetration online as well to really shred through these tanks. Nocturns have got to be so careful of Vote. Terra's Blessing used here by Noitulove, but he's got out of position. Taiko Drums come in, but Wolfie's the one that gets the kill there onto the support from Latin America. NOSQ trying to go aggressive here, but it's SMITE around the backside with the Raven that gets the kill. Carlos in trouble. NOSQ gets a kill. Carlos running away. NOSQ gets another kill, and it's all Nocturns Gaming.
NOSQ with a hot double kill. Now he's showing his face backside. Vote trying to get off to any damage that he can alongside Deathwalker. SMITE is a little bit low, but that weakening curse is going to prevent it. Over the top, though, he's not done yet. He's trying to set up Vote. He needs to hit the shots. He forces out the Jaegers. They're diving the tier 1 tower, and they finally get it. It's a 3 for 2 at the end of the day.
This is classic Rival, and we've seen it all game long. Nocturns will win the fight, but Rival will find that little bit at the end, the little crumbs from the edge of the table that keep themselves fed and keep themselves in this game.
And that one pick is all it takes because of this 35-second respawn timer, and everyone from Rival is about to be up. They're going to use that 25 seconds to potentially group up, maybe force an early Gold Fury.
Beltway and Deathwalker here going at it one-on-one, just fighting in the middle of a minion wave is Beltway. We haven't really seen these two be able to one-on-one much this game, and I guess that really is the story of the solo lane right now. It's not the solo lane.
No, definitely not here. Nocturne's feeling confident that they can start off this Gold Fury in a 4-on-5. Callus is going to take a little bit of poke for his trouble. Even a sprint being popped there, just a little preemptively there. So that's going to be 130 seconds from Noitulove, not available.
Shell's still available for both supports, however, which have been really impactful. Not kind of in the team fights, but more in the kind of gank opportunities before the team fights, where you're trying to look for a pick and then you commit to the team fight because you have the numbers advantage. And the Shells thus far have been so important at preventing kills, particularly for Team Rival.
Nocturne has just been so consistent about trying to find picks onto Callus specifically, sitting at 0, 5, and 3. 5 of those 11 kills all on the support. Now, it's not the end of the world, obviously, that your support is going to pick off, but sometimes you got to question yourself in your positioning and be like, okay, I need to be more mindful, don't get myself too far out of position, or maybe even start engaging with that Draconic form.
Gold Fury hasn't been touched for a long, long time in this game, Tolly. Neither team's been able to be comfortable enough to full commit to this objective, and as Nocturnes, it's got to be hard to feel comfortable going for this when you know Vote is here on his Toth with that Final Judgment, or even just, you know, his stun or his Hieroglyphic Assault. Any of those abilities have the potential to steal the Gold Fury as well as your life.
I mean, they already stole one of those oracles. It was split down the middle there, so no vision for either team. Well played by Vote. He knows the range and he knows the safety of that wall, of how far it extends, and that's something that is really impressive considering that he's a traditional physical hunter player in that long lane.
Zion 6, though, hasn't had a shabby performance either. He's got a lot of penetration online to shred through the tankiness of Team Rival. Chin size, execution, the Titan's main. Got the lifesteal as well, got the boots. Basically fully kitted. What do you think he goes for here with his last item?
I think his last item might be even Odysseus bow, potentially trying to get more attack speed. So whoever gets mark of the Golden Crowd is going to be taking even more damage, and on top of that, getting that chain lightning effect.
Exactly, the chain lightning effect. If you can spread that to Ice Ice Baby, that wipes out his Blink Relic usage basically. And as you mentioned as well, spreading around that damage, which is something that Nocturns haven't really been doing this game. They've been focusing a target and they've been focusing really well, but if they're able to get some of the other targets on Rival low in these fights, Team Rival's not going to be able to start cleaning up those little bits at the end of the fights. Terra's blessing is popped now by Nocturns, getting Rival back off immediately, but this opens up the Gold Fury for Nocturns.
That's a huge cooldown not being used in a team fight. Gold Fury at half health or so. SMITE is really out of position though. He takes a lot of damage.
Gold Fury still being pulled here, still being pulled by Nocturns Gaming. Final Judgment comes through and it hits Noitu Lover. There's NozQ with the Tycho jumps, but it's Noitu Lover who's taking a lot of damage. Sprint is popped. There's 3 members of Nocturns all in a little line here, but Ice Ice Baby's the one taking the damage, and SMITE gets the kill. Zion 6 gets another kill. Carlos is stuck in place. He's going to fall down in just a second, but he barely manages to jump away.
The stun on NozQ. Wolfie feeling himself. He's going to force NozQ to retreat. SMITE on the backside. He knows Rival really wants this Gold Fury considering how low everyone is from Nocturns.
Vote doesn't see him. SMITE, he backs away into a wall, trying to get the stun off. The Aegis comes through, but SMITE, he's still alive somehow until Wolfie picks him up, but Carlos falls down, and it's going to be Wolfie's turn next, you would surely think, and it will be 4 members of Rival dead, only Vote left alive. Nocturns Gaming doing their thing. Vote!
2 members dead from Nocturns. Vote with 10% health. The confidence on this man playing the Thaw.
Every time Rival find a way to get that little piece to keep themselves in this game, but Portal Demon being prioritized here by Nocturns Gaming, and if you look at some of the death timers here, totally, it's not unrealistic. Well, actually, no, it is a bit unrealistic that they go for the Fire Giant, but no, discount everything I'm saying, they're going for it.
They want to get this Fire Giant. It is a 3-on-3. I think Vote has the potential here to steal this. It's only at half health. Vote has Final Judgment. That's all they need to disengage, and it's exactly what Nocturns is going to do.
The fact that Vote has stayed alive all game has really prevented Nocturns from doing these objectives and committing to something like this, because you can't do an objective when a Thoth is around.
Absolutely not. There's not too many abilities that can contest the damage from a Final Judgment. Maybe Poseidon Kraken if you're like full build and everything like that, because of how long it takes to charge that Final Judgment. That's another important factor. Can you find the damage before it's fully charged?
Deathwalker here, alone in the solo lane, still has his tower left up. Beltway actually dashing forward here. He doesn't know Vote's around, but Vote just barely misses the stun.
Trying to get off a little bit more damage, trying to maybe start a team fight with that Final Judgment. He did it earlier on in the game, and it worked out really well in that one team fight around the Portal Demon, but a few Nocturne members are split off. Wolfie spots 2 on the left side, so that could be the trigger to start fighting on the right for Rival.
Well, they do take down the right-hand side tier 1 tower for themselves. Zion 6, though, takes down the Oracle Harpies and forces the ultimate out of Wolfie, actually. So now they're going to look to commit on this one. A Team Rival going to have to get over to this left-hand side of the map very quickly. Noitu Lover zoning out Wolfie excellently, but Wolfie gets the kill. He's going to try and he steals the Gold Fury! Wolfie steals it away from Zion 6.
The hero that Rival need. Wolfie coming in clutch. Objective control dominated by Rival. They got the tier 1 tower on the right side. They steal away the Gold Fury. Rival are playing out of their mind. 5-on-4 now, blinking into the back line as Ice Ice Baby, stunning out multiple members, and now here comes NozQ banging those drums.
Wolfie, though, great Aegis there to take away a lot of that damage. Final Judgment comes through, but SMITE jumps in and makes the fight an even one. 4-on-4 stuns raining down from Zion 6 here, looking to deal some damage to Deathwalker, who's maybe bitten off a bit more than he could chew, but the Lord of the Afterlife gets him away to safety.
Having to retreat there. Rival were feeling themselves after that pick onto Noitu Lover. They're still doing a good job in terms of getting something off of these picks. Team Rival are just looking so scary here, honestly, and looking at some of their builds already almost at 6. This is getting to the point where your 6 items are about to be finished here. The damage from Zion 6 is complete, basically, with the red buff, with Odysseus bow. Anyone he wants to touch is just going to melt.
It's getting to the point as well, Tolly, that one team fight can decide the game. because the death timers are so long. We saw Wolfie there, a 53-second death timer. He's still not respawned.
Still needs 12 seconds, but that's still enough time that Nocturns doesn't feel comfortable enough to go for the Fire Giant quite yet. They're still doing a little bit of a standoff around it instead.
And the last time they tried to go for an objective, this Gold Fury Wolfie we see here, making the hero play, dashes forward and kills Noitu Lover, gets the Gold Fury as well. Tremendous play. And in what world does that happen? In Rivals world. I
mean, apparently here, it happens in day 3 of HRX, and that's really impressive to see Wolfie just coming in clutch here, you know, and especially for him too, playing a Hunter in the mid position. Not too many people like to go for that route, and we thought that they were trolling necessarily at first a little bit, you know, okay, Vote's playing the Thoth, Wolfie's playing the Hachiman, but no, Rival have been, it seems that Rival are very consistent with the strategy and have been practicing in the back rooms.
Fire Giant being looked at here, but it's actually Deathwalker now. That's the target from Nocturns Gaming. He's taken a lot of damage here. There's the Lord of the Afterlife. That's a big ultimate used from Rival.
Forcing out the Mad Guy's Blessing on Noitu Lover. With Deathwalker backing, though, that could enable Nocturns to potentially get this Tier 1 tower, getting some positioning on the map, and that's something that Rival needs to be mindful about. Look at how they're sticking together. Vote's holding on to that stun, not on the mark, though.
It's so great that Nocturns haven't become tilted, I would say, after losing that gold free, getting it stolen away from them. The mental fortitude of this team is amazing to see.
Absolutely here. It's Rival, though, that are positioning rather aggressively. They're going to force out the double relics from Nazq. This could be go time now for Rival. That's a huge cooldown, even forcing out Terra's Blessing.
That's huge. 2 big abilities and relics used there by the side of Nocturns Gaming, and Rival, I mean, they're the objective masters this game. They could go for this Fire Giant if they want, but playing a little bit safer, playing a little bit conservatively, really respecting this Nocturns Gaming squad.
They're just going to back, get some sentry wards here from both Ice Baby and Vote. They're going to look to position it and bait Nocturns in a bad spot. They called out those relics. They know the timer exactly to the T, and that's something that Rival are going to be looking for, this Raijin being played by Nazq.
Portal Demon started up now by Team Rival. Beltway looking to get in there and cause some trouble for Team Rival. Spitera around the backside as well. This is seems to be his favorite position of the game, just coming in from the back and trying to take down one of these squishies. And thus far, it's been Wolfie that's really felt his wrath.
Nice damage from Vote there onto Noitu Lover. Nazq banging those drums now, really getting Rival away from this Portal Demon.
Final Judgment was channeled by Vote there, but not unleashed. And really, Nazq didn't get a whole lot out of that ultimate. 2 big ultimates down now for Nocturns Gaming.
Just feigning a lot of pressure on both sides, wanting to go for the poke. Don't want to commit here to the Portal Demon and get caught overextended. Cal is doing a good job just avoiding that chain lightning effect. Vote from a distance here, trying to find the stun. Nazq is able to disengage here, but it could be a little bit trouble for the front line instead.
Final Judgment comes out, but doesn't hit anyone. Sprint pop there by Nocturns Gaming as well. Zion 6 is fighting Ice Baby one-on-one and coming out on top. Down come the Suns. They're raining down on the Ice Baby. He's going to be all right. The Fire Giant is procced here. Deathwalker trying to get to the backline and look for Spitero. But both teams take a little bit of a breather now.
Beltway doing a little bit of damage here. The stun not on the mark from Zion 6, but it's Nocturns chasing them down.
Wolfie taking a lot of damage, and Ice Baby has back. Deathwalker taking some damage now as well. But Rival back away, and now Nocturns have to back away as well. Spitero too low mana, and the fact that Nocturns are backing second here could open this Portal Demon.
Just so much back and forth action between these two teams around. Just fighting for a Portal Demon for this long just goes to show that Nocturns, you know, they're here to stay, man. They're like really playing lights out, which is almost to be expected considering how they got here from their regionals. They really put on a clinic there against their opponents, and even giving Rival a really hard time in the second game.
Yeah, definitely giving them a run for their money in this one. At the 38-minute mark, nearly 39 minutes here. Almost everyone is level 20, except for the supports. Almost everyone is full build. This is the late game kind of Smite. We don't get to see that often, but Rival, we know they can play under these conditions.
It's just a Sentry Ward battle. Nocturns getting the slight edge here. Spitero gets stunned out, but no follow-up. Nocturns got a turn to clear the counter ward. Now it's Rival's turn to clear the counter ward. It's still an endless battle, it seems, against this Portal Demon, but Rival, they're going to commit here on the Portal, it seems.
And they really can with the Glyph of Pain, with the Hachiman as well. Nocturns, though, not making it easy for them. Beltway getting stunned out. Spitero on the backside is looking to fight his opposite number. Vote doesn't get the stun off here. Wolfie dealing a lot of damage there to Zion 6, and that's going to be some trouble for Nocturns, but does have the Devourer's Gauntlets to lifesteal himself back up.
Zion6 still doesn't have his relics for 20 seconds. That could be something Rival are aware of and are trying to bait out. They couldn't find Nazgûl when his relics were down from that earlier engagement, but can it be against Zion6 instead this time around?
Deathwalker avoids a lot of damage there. SMITE goes in on the backside. He's looking for Vote. He's looking for the stop, but it's caused Nocturne so much trouble. It's Deathwalker now taking a lot of damage from the Sun. SMITE taking some damage as well. Carlos is now a Dragon. Final Judgment comes through. It hits Zion6, who takes so much damage.
Wow, he's so low. I can't believe that he actually got away from that one. He's so low that he's actually gray on the screen, but he's still alive. I promise you that. But Portal Demon going the way of Rival because of them being able to bully Zion6 away. 5-on-4 advantage. Rival secure their objectives.
It's this Thoth, man. This has been the difference in this game, and now it's the difference in Rival starting up the Gold Fury. They're already at 50% here, under 25%. Rival should get this one. Beltway's trying to get in there for the steal, preventing Rival from doing this Fire Giant. Rival, though, they're happy to get a pick here. Beltway taking so much damage right now. Nazgûl doing his best, as well as No2Lover, but Wolfie's going to pick up the solo laner from Latin America.
They found one. Can they find a second one? The attention has been shifted to SMITE. Also, Zion6 could be in a little bit of trouble. He drops the Suns.
SMITE
being used.
Goes into the backline looking for Vote once again. Tycho jumps coming out from Nazgûl, but Wolfie, the hero of this game, he falls down to Nazgûl, who jumps over the wall aggressively, and now Vote needs to be careful because No2Lover is looking for him. Here comes Zion6 as well. Nocturns, Davey, they're taking a 3-on-4 fight. Nazgûl gets a double kill. Zion6 is too low, though, to continue this fight, and Kalas will take down Nazgûl.
It's a 3-for-2. Look at these respawn timers. They're so long. No2Lover, he gets the one dash off. He has the second one available, but he gets rooted in place. 4 dead members from Nocturnes. Here comes some objectives, though. Rival having a 3-on-1 advantage, but they don't want to get Fire Giant without their hyper carries being alive.
Exactly right, and I think that does prevent them from really going for too much here. The first kill of the game onto Vote. He's finally down. That's got to be comforting to Nocturnes, but Wolfie being down as well means that even though Rival will win that fight, the most they could go for, it seems here, are these buffs, and even then, that's not 100% guaranteed for them either. Zion6
just does a lot of damage here. Late game form, his final form, being this level 20 Hou-Yi, does a lot of damage. So gotta respect it, even if you're a level 20 Osiris with your build complete, even if you're fully stacked up with the Osiris passive, getting that 2% physical mitigation per stack, you don't want to tangle with a Hou-Yi 101.
He's been one of the difference makers in this game, but the big one for Nocturnes Gaming, and of course it's to be expected, Nazgûl, 8 kills, 8 assists, only 2 deaths. And the aggressive jump in there to kill Vote, tremendous play there out of the mid laner from Nocturnes.
And this is why we talk about Nazgûl for just so long here. It's just his true talent that he's showing us out of Nocturnes Gaming. Being able to dive that backline almost effortlessly, it seems. And more importantly than being aggressive is how he peels himself back when he knows he's about to be in danger. He allows SMITE to engage, going on in there in the backline, and that's what's making it difficult for Rival, is this Robin pick that just constantly jumps on Vote. But now, without that ultimate, Vote is safe.
And that's a Terra's Blessing used there as well from Nocturne, so 2 huge team fighting ultimates taken away from the Latin American squad, while Rival, they were denied the Fire Giant last time. They're not to be denied again.
Not this time, but it's still another Sentry Vision Control battle. Nazgûl is forced to retreat there, but I'm really surprised our Rival are not going to continue the chase there. Instead, they're trying to funnel Nocturnes through these little rock corridors where everybody's going to be grouped up, and here comes more AoE damage potentially out of Vote.
Ice Baby blinks forward there. Beltway isolated from the rest of his team here. Carlos, though, as well, is going to feel some damage here out of Zion6. SMITE taking some damage as well. He doesn't have his ultimate to get himself out of danger, although it's coming off cooldown relatively soon.
Trying to get some pot shots through the wall. Nazgûl not able to connect that time. No2Lover, though, is forced to walk away there. Even the Mad Guy's Blessing being popped there from the stun from Vote. Great accuracy, and I think that's the goal here. It's just a constant funnel from Rival, but Nocturnes doesn't really have to commit here. I'm trying to see if they have any vision control beyond that Fire Giant, and it doesn't seem that Nocturnes can see.
Deathwalker, so tanky right now, hit by a ricochet from Zion6 and walks away from an A-OK. This is Cyrus, so tanky, particularly with his passive against the Hou-Yi.
with the Mystical Mail, with the Hide of Nemean Line, also getting some hybrid physical protection from the Hide of Urchin. We're seeing a good spot for Deathwalker. You know, he got abused in the early game. He's sitting at 0-2 and 7. A tier 2 tower for free from Rival.
I love that play. You would talk about how Nocturns don't have vision further up towards the Fire Giant. Rival realized this and quickly sneak that mid lane tier 2 tower because of the sheer amount of damage they have online.
And they're not doing this for gold at all. Rival are fully completed with all their items. They're doing this more importantly to deny safety from Nocturnes Gaming. If there's ever a chase opportunity, Rival will now be able to chase beyond that tier 2 marker.
It's also giving some experience. Carlos has just hit level 20. Spitera again forced to ult away.
Yes.
But Carlos is level 20, while No2Lover has stuck on level 17 for about 10 minutes now.
Spitera had to jump away from that final judgment from Vote. I think that was definitely going to be that killing blow onto a Robin that can easily open the door, because keep in mind, these respawn timers are looking to be like about 70 to 75 seconds.
Rival pressuring the tier 2 tower over on the solo lane side right now. Odysseus Bow doing work for Zion 6. Deathwalker avoids the ricochet, but it does end up hitting Wolfie. There's NozQ with the Taiko drums. Carlos forced to jump away from Spitero. Beltway's taking some damage. The Terror's Blessing has been popped as well. Deathwalker, the target's still here for Nocturnes, but Deathwalker is too tanky right now, and he says, come here, boys. This is my party. Beltway taking so much damage now out of Ice Ice Baby. Carlos in the back is a dragon. He's looking for Spitero, but NozQ's trying to do what he can for his team.
Rival are doing such a good job kiting and zoning back and forth. The ultimate from Zion 6 worked beautifully as intended in terms of zoning. Ice Ice Baby, though, he blinks in the backline. It's Zion 6 that's left alone, and Vote gets him from a distance.
Shotgun blast. No, that's a sniper blast there out of Vote with the Hieroglyphic Assault. And that one pick, as you mentioned, 70-second death timer. This is a free Portal Demon, and you would think a Fire Giant for Rival.
Yeah, once they take this Portal Demon, they're going to get nice and healthy from their fountains, take that portal back to space. Back to the Fire Giant rather, as Matero is forced to use that ultimate away. And yet again, keep in mind, this is what allows Nocturne Gaming to disrupt the backline, is this Robin ult through walls. Vote has been constantly harassed by Smitero, so now he's going to be left free to breathe for another minute or so.
A brilliant frontlining there from Deathwalker in that last fight. Brilliant baiting as well, as you said, just making Nocturnes commit onto him, invest so much damage into him, and then he turns around and says, here's my boys, let's party.
He tried to bait a lot of cooldowns there, even holding onto his ultimate to finally use it offensively. Ice Ice Baby will counter that ward. Fire Giant at less than half health. Zion 6 still dead for 15 seconds. This 5-on-4 for Rival is finally going to secure the first Fire Giant of the game at the 47-minute mark.
Huge there for Rival. Now they can get a bit more of a potent siege. Only a tier 2 tower left over on the left-hand side for Nocturnes Gaming. Spitero clears up a mid-wave. Really nice play from him there. Just going to stall out the Rival push for that extra few seconds, which could mean the difference here.
It definitely could be. Rival are just going to continue to group up. They don't want to leave any stragglers behind, and that's very important here because Nocturnes has the ability to also set up some traps for themselves. They have a lot of control with the Terra, with also the damage from Zion 6 and NozQ, so you can't be left alone this late in the game.
Well, Smitero, he is alone here over on the left-hand side, but now he's regrouping with the rest of the team. Tier 2 tower here, they should just leave this one. Rival's going to shred it way too quickly for them to even think about contesting. Now they're moving on to the Phoenix. Especially
with a wall from the Thoughtfear being played by Vote, it's going to enhance some of the in-hand damage from both himself and Wolfie. The late game damage, if Rival are free to in-hand this for like 2 seconds, that Phoenix will melt.
Final judgment comes through, but Zion 6, good relic usage to stop it. NozQ around the backside with the Taiko drums. Wolfie just in-handing him to heal himself back up. Here, the shell pops as well, and a sprint from Team Rival. Good taunt from Beltway. The sun's come down from Zion 6, but Wolfie on the horse. He's looking for Zion 6.
Wow.
Vote will find him, though, with the Hieroglyphic Assault. Wolfie so low, Spitera will get him, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Rival, they're the healthy ones right now.
Hunter for Hunter. Vote trying to find the stun, not on the mark, but it's a great setup from Ice Ice Baby instead. Finally, the second victim from Nocturnes finally takes a spill here. Another 2-for-2 though, as Ice Ice Baby takes a spill.
No2Lover coming out of base, not fully healed. Beltway doing what he can to stop this Phoenix going down. Great defense thus far from Nocturnes Gaming. A 2-for-2 trade, and with that Phoenix still up, is absolutely worth at this stage. But Vote, so much damage coming out from him onto this structure. NozQ forced to dash away. No2Lover gonna go ahead and root some members in, but you think Anatoly, this left-hand side Phoenix will fall, and
Finally
it does.
It's very difficult to siege that without a physical hunter there, but Nocturns Gaming, they're going to try to find something out of nothing as Deathwalker gets stunned out. Now he gets slowed. He's going to try to get body blocked, but he's ethereal. He can just walk right through them.
Nosq jumping on the spot here, and Beltway will pick up the kill. So it's a 3-for-2 trade, but the left-hand side Phoenix does go down in favor of Team Rival.
Deathwalker definitely wanting to find a kill onto Nosq, recognizing that he can't escape without Lord of the Afterlife, so therefore he tried to do as much damage as he can, hoping that either Vote or Callus would follow up from there. Final Judgment was channel, thought about being used. Vote did not pull the trigger that time around.
50 minutes approaching here, Toly. What a great game of SMITE this has been. This hasn't been one of those 50 minutes drag-out games. There's been action every single second of this one.
It's just been a lot of back and forth action here. Like, just think about how long there was scuffles around that portal team, and both of these teams are battling inch after inch. And Nocturns Gaming, they finally lost their left side Phoenix, but it took a lot out of Rival to get it. As long as that Rival can consistently group up the way they have been and abuse the range from Vote, that's their winning edge.
Blue buff gonna fall down here for Nocturns to secure their speed as well. They're getting what they can to keep themselves in this game because No2Lover needs to hit level 20. He's still only level 19. Not the full benefits of a fully leveled Terra's Blessing online just yet for Nocturns Gaming. Carlos has been level 20 for a while here. We're seeing a lot of potions being popped by these gods as well.
Some 3K potions there. 1 defense on Deathwalker, 1 offense for Vote. So if you thought Vote was hitting hard before, sitting at almost 46,000 player damage, well, he's going to be hitting that much harder. But top player damage has been on Nosq, who has a very interesting build here, going for this ethereal staff, trying to spam his abilities through walls. You know, you do like a 5% magical damage. So it's going to take into account from that magical defense, not your typical Soul Reaver that has that true damage instead.
And it's a bit more survivability as well, combined with a Warlock Sash. And ethereal stuff gives you a lot of health, so that's why he's been able to stay alive as long as he has in these fights. The Portal Demon going to be started by Rival.
Trying to go for another objective here as the Fire Giant is going to respawn in 30 seconds. The Portal Demon, if there's a team fight, it's going to allow Rival to go back in and out of the action at their leisure here. Also, pick up more wards is the key of this late game battle. Deny the vision from Nocturns Gaming and start controlling more space, eventually leaving Nocturns to just hide under their own Titan room.
10 seconds until the Fire Giant spawns, and if Rival gets this, it's pretty much game over for Nocturns, even though they did have a fantastic defense the last time around. But Rival, I think, with the lead there, getting kind of mentally more than anything else, it will be the game. Fire Giant being absolutely demolished right now by Rival, under 10% HP, and they're going to go ahead and pick that one up completely uncontested.
Whenever you have a Phoenix down, it's difficult to leave your base, especially once it's in that long lane, the opposite side of the map from Fire Giant. You can't just push that and then casually walk towards the right side of the map. So instead, it's another free objective for Rival. They're able to really stretch their lead a little bit further here with these Fire Giant buffs. And I think that this is going to be a second Phoenix Siege attempt. They're not going to wait for the left side Fire Minions to get a little closer.
We are going to see Ice pushing up the mid lane as well. So if they take this right-hand side Phoenix, the middle Phoenix becomes that much easier to take.
Still waiting. The patience here from Rival. They don't want to force anything quite yet. Right side Phoenix now being looked out.
So much damage on Design 6. Spitero goes in. Wolfie taking a lot of damage. Lord of the Afterlife used there by Deathwalker. Spitero trying to run away. Tycho drums come through.
Final
the final judgment was huge onto Nosq.
Nosq in so much trouble. Deathwalker didn't want to chase that down. He did not have Lord of the Afterlife to go over that mid wall, but instead that just allows the right side Phoenix to collapse. Nocturns Gaming without their second Phoenix now.
Right, left-hand side, the 5 minutes are pouring in. Spitero's so low here, but just barely able to crawl back to his fountain. Middle Phoenix is feeling the pressure now here for Team Rival.
Wow, the damage flowed from a distance onto Nosq. 5-on-4 for 80 seconds. This mid Phoenix is going to start getting pressured here from Rival. This could be the game soon.
Zion 6 falls down, and that is all the damage. Wolfie picks up Spitero as well. It's just Beltway and No2Lover left here to defend the Titan, and no longer it's just Beltway, and he's going to maybe even be picked up in his fountain. Team Rival turn towards the Titan. This game was maybe a little bit too close for comfort, but Team Rival come out on top. They progress